Oh, hello.
Hello there.
Is this a lolly?
It certainly is.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to chat with you. What you got for me, girl?
I tell you, I have got a doozy for you today.
I'm scared.
I mean, this story is literally another horror movie.
Great. All right. Well, look, strap on in, guys. We'd expect nothing less from you, Rainey.
Yeah. Here we go. 22nd of September 2006. The place Whispering Cliff Drive in Idaho. Dark evening on a 2-acre block in an old-style home. Cassie Jo Stoddart, 16 years old.
Ooh.
She's house-sitting for her uncle and auntie because they're away for the weekend. They've got 3 cats and 2 dogs, and her boyfriend's just left. She's laying on the couch and the lights start coming on and off. There's some banging and bashing. The dogs are barking at the basement, and she is petrified. Too scared to move, she stays in the living room. Then all of a sudden, 2 figures appear with masks on. White masks covered in red splotches of blood.
Oh.
One holding a hunting knife and one holding a dagger-like knife. They then go ahead and stab Cassie 29 times in the chest and throat and leave her there to die.
Shireen, what the actual fuck? Oh, my God. Okay. Oh, God. You just ripped the Band-Aid off immediately.
I did.
You got to build up to this shit, girl. How did we get here?
How did we get here? Well, I am about to tell you, Lolly. So, Cassie Jo Stoddart, 16 years old. She was born in Pocatello, Idaho on December 21st, 1989. She went to Pocatello High School. She had amazing friends, straight A student. She basically was just there enjoying school. She didn't drink. She didn't do drugs. She loved art and music, very artistic. She played soccer. She had a brother and a sister who they did spend a lot of time growing up with their grandparents. And the brother basically said she was like a twin to him. They were very, very close. She was just a year above him, and she was just a lovely all-round ray of sunshine.
She sounds like a good girl.
She is a good girl. Like I said in the beginning, her uncle and auntie were going away. Cassie was saving for a car, so she has been the one that will step up. She's going to house it. She's going to look after the dogs. What a mistake that was. So the day of the house sitting, she is there with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend of 5 months, Matt Beckham. 2 other friends arrive, Brian Draper and Tori Adamick. So they arrive thinking that, Cassie is house sitting, there's gonna be a party, let's go. And they arrive. Cassie's a little pissed off because she's like, this is my aunt and uncle's house, you're not allowed to arrive. Look, remember, she's a straight A, good girl, straight A student. They've arrived, they've decided they're going to watch Kill Bill 2. So they sit there and they watch a movie. They've actually had a bit of a tour of the house. The 2 boys are actually decided that they're a bit bored, so they're going to leave. So they leave and they go watch a movie in town. And while Cassie and Matt are sitting there, the lights actually go off. And they're thinking, okay, what's going on here? Then they hear some clamping and some bashing and all sorts. They're pretty scared. Cassie is petrified. Matt's not being the big boyfriend going down to the basement checking it out. He's on the phone to Mum. He's ringing Mum. He's like, Mum, Cassie's really scared. Can I stay here tonight? And she's like, I'm not letting my 16-year-old son stay with a 16-year-old girlfriend at a house by themselves.
Yeah, nice try, mate.
Nice try. She said, look, if she's that scared, why don't you and Cassie just come stay at home? Obviously, it's supervised. But Cassie, being the good girl that she was, she said, no, I made a promise. I'm going to stay here because I've got to look after the pets. So Matt went home.
What the actual fuck, bro? You're not even going to go and scope out the area?
Well, to be fair, though, she didn't want to go. I know if I was 16, I'd be like, see you later. Pets, have some food. I'll be back in the morning.
Why why didn't they call the police? What's going on here?
Maybe they thought the house was haunted. Like, the house was an older style home. It was on 2 acres. There wasn't a lot of neighbours around. Maybe they were thinking there's some sort of poltergeist going on. I'm not really sure.
Fair. Yeah.
So Matt's gone home. He's rung his friends. His friends are whispering because they're obviously in the cinema because they were actually going to catch up later that night, and that never happened. And then he's gone home. It's midnight, and he starts calling Cassie. Cassie hasn't answered the phone. He's rung again. Cassie hasn't answered the phone. The following day, Cassie's mum's ringing her. No one's answering. She's singing little shit teenage girl, like, answer the phone. Matt keeps calling her about 15 times. No answer.
Hey, Matt, do you think maybe something's gone wrong? Bruh. Jesus.
This is now the Sunday. So that was a Friday night. We've gone all day Saturday. No one can get in touch with Cassie. We get to the Sunday afternoon. Cassie's auntie and uncle arrive home with the 13-year-old cousin. The 13-year-old cousin goes in the house, and what does she find? Cassie on the living room floor, dead, covered in blood.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. This is not right.
This is not. This is fucked.
Fuck you, Shereen.
I know, you're welcome. So, obviously the police are arrived. Cassie's mum has actually arrived not long after the police have arrived because she's there to pick her daughter up.
Oh,
and she has
God.
no idea that her daughter has been brutally murdered. And, of course, the police, what do? Number one suspect is Matt, the boyfriend. So they bring the boyfriend in. Everyone is speculating, Matt, are you dirty, dirty murderer?
I didn't expect dirty murderer to come out in this podcast, but it's a new one. This dirty murderer.
Yeah.
Is he like covered in dirt or?
Pimples, 16, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh my God. Oh, wait, is he? I hope his balls have already dropped because 16 is late.
That's actually true. You're right.
But I mean, fair because he was the last one there. So,
and also,
it's
like
unfortunate.
we said, Matt, you've called her a million times. Like, why would you not go round there?
Seems a bit suspicious, but my eyeballs are looking directly at the friends.
Well, they bring Matt in for questioning, and he doesn't actually have a lot of emotion, which they find that's very, very strange. Because why are you not upset?
Shock?
Well, everyone has different ways of showing their emotion. So they do another couple of days of investigating and questioning, and then they just go straight into a lie detective test, and he passes with flying colours. So they're like, okay, wasn't Matt. Matt's been cleared.
Just like that.
Just like that. And as Matt's leaving the station, he's like, oh, we were actually with Brian and Tori that night. They did come over for an hour. They're like, well, did you think that maybe you wanted to mention that to us earlier?
Sus.
So the detectives then bring in Brian Draper and Tori Adamick in for questioning. And they are two 16-year-old boys. They don't look like they would have done any murdering. They weren't
dirty?
They weren't dirty. They weren't dirty. They just look like two just casual 16-year-old boys. They're interviewed separately. They've actually got their movie ticket stubs. So they went to a movie called Pulse. I'm not actually sure what that movie is. Have you seen it, Lily?
Nope, no idea.
No, and then they have been sent on their merry way. So who are Brian and Tori? Brian Draper was born in Pocatello, Idaho on March 21st, 1990. He was a bit of a weirdo, not going to lie. He had a bit of a stutter. Growing up, he said his dad was hardly home, mainly brought up by his mum. He played the drums. And he just really wanted to be popular at school, you know, just really wanted to be part of the cool crowd, but didn't really quite fit in.
You know, pause. So having a stutter is...
Sorry.
Hey, listen, do you know what? I got one.
When?
For a minute. Okay, listen, guys. This is a little sad and I'm a little embarrassed. When I moved to the States, I kid you not, I don't know if it was because I wasn't around you anymore, but I got like a bit of a stutter in social situations. I was so nervous and just completely lost myself, Rainey.
Oh my
Without
God.
you around, I was didn't know what to say. I'm sorry. I can't.
Yeah.
Maybe that's mean. Maybe it sounds like I'm making fun of people with stutters, but I had one.
You
all right?
did. Well,
Going to the States by myself, leaving you for the first time, but
don't blame you.
My normal speech did come back. I think it's because I did magic mushrooms. No, I'm serious. I just when I did mushrooms, when I started doing some psychedelics, plant medicine, guys, all right? Don't judge. Mm-hmm. Go out and try it for yourself. But don't take that as a recommendation from me. But yeah, life-changing. And my speech just improved and my throat chakra opened and I could talk again for the first time.
Beautiful. Okay, anyway. All right. Well, I'm glad you don't have that stutter anymore.
No.
And Mama, what's it called? Mama Mushroom. Who?
Yeah. No, you're thinking Mama Ayahuasca, but
Mama Mushroom?
Tried that too. We'll talk about that another time. Look, it wasn't going to be a full podcast if we didn't have a little confession from Lolly. So yes.
That's right. Confessions of Lolly. Right, back to Brian Draper.
He should have done mushrooms.
So yes, he needs to do some mushrooms. Now, Brian, he just got a little obsessed with the old 1999 Columbine shooting.
Oh, no.
If anyone doesn't know what that is, it was in 1999. There was a guy called Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. Dylan Fuckface. I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name, but...
No, that sounded right, Fuckface.
Yeah, they killed 12 of their classmates and one teacher, and they basically filmed it all, and they just thought they were the bee's knees. So this guy idolized them.
Ew.
It is he idolized them so much that he actually started copying them. He would wear similar clothing. He would talk the same. He started smoking. They would wear big black trench coats, so he would wear a big trench coat. And on his MySpace page, remember what that was?
Loved MySpace, yeah.
He actually claimed on there that they were his heroes.
He is sick. Why was no one doing something about this guy sooner?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the police are probably doing a little bit of digging into this also. I'm thinking, right, Brian, you seem me a little dodgy.
Brian going down.
And so, look, he also, not only did he want to be popular, but he also wanted to be famous. So Tori Adamick, he was born the 14th of June, 1990, so the same age. Pocatello again. He was a little strange also, but he didn't have an obsession with the Columbine shooting. He had an obsession with horror movies. In particular, Scream was his favourite.
Sakes, these guys are a pair, aren't they?
They are. Now, they went to the same school. Initially, they weren't friends. So they actually became friends because they were partnered up in biology and had to do an assignment together. Prior to that, Brian thought that Tori was arrogant and he was an asshole, and they just didn't like each other. But who would have thought they came together and they bonded over their unique love of death and murder, and it was just a match made in, I would say heaven, but it's really hell. So they are also friends with Cassie and with Matt. Brian actually has a bit of a crush on Cassie, and there's also speculation that maybe Tori has a bit of a crush on Cassie too.
They're 16.
16 years old.
What's going on here?
I'm not really sure, but you know what? I'm about to tell you.
Thank you.
The police have brought both Tori and Brian back in for questioning. They've actually gone to the theatre and they know that they weren't there on the night because they are regulars at the theatre. Everyone knows them by name. The one lady that actually lets them into the cinema, she never saw them that night. So they've been brought back in and they're starting to ask some questions. What actually happened in the old movie Pulse, Brian? Brian's like, I'm not sure.
You savage bitch. But that's probably what he said. I don't know. Sorry. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
No, well, actually, you can watch. It's exactly what he sounded like. He has then gone on to say that he was sitting there next to two very attractive girls. One name was Heather, didn't catch the other one. They've gone out of the cinema. They've left Tori in there to watch the movie by himself for a bit, and then he's gone back in. But, you know, he was pretty bored, so he ended up leaving. They've gone and asked Tori the same questions, and what do you know? Tori has no idea what the movie was about, even though he was left in the cinema for quite some time on his own. No clue. Must have been a very boring movie. And the detectives have then actually said, well, you know what, guys? We actually went and watched this movie yesterday. Tell us like one person in the movie. What do they look like? Still nothing. So their story then changed into, well, we weren't actually watching the movie. We were actually breaking into cars.
Well, I suppose it's better to go down for Grand Theft Auto than murder.
Exactly. So the questioning goes on and on and on. But I'm going to take you away from the questioning for a little bit, Lolly, and I'm going to take you back to that night. We're just going to go into exactly what happened. Are you ready?
No.
Too bad, Lolly. Too bad. So back on 22nd of September 2006, obviously Brian and Tori have arrived at the aunt and uncle house of Cassie Stoddart's. And again, Cassie wasn't really impressed, but they decided to stay, and they've had a tour of the house. They've sat down, they've watched Kill Bill. Now, during the movie, Brian's actually got up and he has gone downstairs secretly to the basement and he has unlocked the door. He's then gone back upstairs and he has then locked the back door and any other door he can find, so there's no easy exit.
Oh, this is like an actual horror film.
This is so fucked, Lolly. So fucked. They have then obviously left because they're bored and they're going to go watch a movie. And I've actually got some audio here for you if you'd like to listen, Lolly.
Oh, of course you do. What is it?
So these two scumbags decided to obviously copy the Columbine people and record everything that they did.
Did the Columbine people record?
They recorded just all of their actions leading up to the crime.
Record as in like video or audio?
Video record.
No.
So the boys have left the house, they've gone to the movies, but they've actually parked around the road. And they're sitting there, patiently waiting for the right moment.
We're here in his car. The time is 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of killing our two friends. And they are right in that house just down the street.
We just talked to them. We were there for an hour. But
we checked out the whole house. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I locked the back doors. It's all locked. Now we just gotta wait. And yeah, we're really nervous right now. But, you know, we're ready.
We're listening to the greatest rock band ever.
We've waited for this for a long time.
Pink Floyd. Before we commit the ultimate crime of murder.
We waited for this for a long time.
A long time.
Oh my God, Rainey. That is so fucked up. Are you actually for real? This can't be real.
I'm for real. So they have left, and obviously they think they've got the grueling task of killing their two friends because they think Matt is there. So they have then gone back to the house. They've snuck into the basement. There must be the power box downstairs. So they've actually turned the lights off. And then they've turned the lights back on and they're making some banging noises and bashing noises, thinking that Matt would be the big hero and come down to the basement. They're going to kill him first and then they're going to go for Cassie. But that just didn't happen, did it?
I know it didn't. I know we sort of poked fun at it earlier in the episode, but he's just a kid.
He is a kid.
He doesn't need to be the big man. What is he, 16?
Yeah.
He's got years to be the big man.
Exactly.
Fucking hell.
So his blessing in disguise was his mum not allowing them to stay the night. I don't know, maybe the mum thought that something was a little dodgy by what he was explaining was happening. And look, she did offer to have Cassie come too, but I don't know why she'd stay in the house. I have no freaking idea. I would be running a mile.
Same.
So then Matt has left. He has then called his friends who are whispering because he thinks they're in the theatre, but they're whispering because they're in the basement.
Ew.
Oh, he has obviously spoken to his friends, said, I'll catch up with you tomorrow, I'm going home. And then the boys start turning the lights on and off again, on and off again. They are bashing cupboard doors. They actually have like a glass ashtray that they throw up the stairs that smashes everywhere. The dogs are going ballistic. Obviously, Cassie's in the house and she'll be absolutely petrified. And then they go up the stairs. And then they go and obviously stab her 29 times. 12 of those stab wounds were fatal.
That's horrific.
It is absolutely horrific. So then they have left. I've got another bit of audio for you, Lolly.
This is some messed up
This is fucked.
shit.
This is so fucked.
wrong. I hate this, Rainey. I don't like this story at all.
Neither do I.
I don't reckon we should do stories like this ever again.
Okay. So they have now, obviously they've left the house.
I just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke. I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie.
Rainey.
Oh, fuck. That felt like fucking real. I mean, it went by so fast.
Shut the fuck up. We gotta get our act straight.
So, are you with me, Lolly?
I don't know. I don't like it. I hate it.
It's horrific.
Yeah.
Do you want me to stop telling the story?
No, but like, what the fuck, man? What is wrong with these kids? They think it's a joke?
I know, it's so disgusting. It is absolutely just diabolical. There is no words.
This is, you know what? This is weird because there's always this element of like, what happened? Who was it? But when we've got the audio like this, it just, all of that just goes and you can, it's just hearing it from the other side. It's so disturbing. I'm disturbed, deeply disturbed hearing this stuff. I just feel like, and these kids just have no idea what they're doing. Complete disregard for this person, this human, this life, this person's family. It's just a game.
It's very, very sick and twisted. And also for two friends to come together and share such a common interest, that's so disgusting.
It's like that other episode you did, those other two friends.
Yeah.
What's wrong with these people?
I don't know how they find each other. I really don't. So after the murder, they have then got all of their belongings and then they've driven somewhere and they've buried it all. So they're trying to hide the evidence, right?
Yeah.
Back to the investigation. The police are onto these scumbags. They know that their story is not adding it up and they know that it's these guys. So they are questioning the two boys and eventually Brian starts to crack. He's starting to cry. The pressure is on.
Really? Oh, he's having a wee cry, is he?
The pressure is on. He's got mum and dad in the old interrogation room with him, and he just breaks down and says it was just supposed to be a joke. He has then gone and told them that they broke in through the basement door. They basically just wanted to scare Cassie, and Tori went in there and just killed her. He has put it all on Tori. And what do you know, Lolly? I've gone to Tori, and Tori has done the exact same thing to Brian.
It's brilliant.
It is brilliant. It wasn't me, it was you. In our case, Lolly, you'll be screwed because we've got the same DNA.
That's right. Who's going to do it first?
As the investigation gets a little further into everything, Brian has eventually gone and said, look, we've buried all the evidence. Come on, I'll take you to it. Now, Brian's a bit of an idiot because they actually thought that they burnt all the evidence, but everything was intact, including the videotape.
Oh, my God.
They uncovered a black bag which was full of knives. It was their white mask with the blood patches all over it. There was like hydrogen peroxide or something in there. I think they poured that over everything thinking it would ruin the tape. It definitely did not. The detectives actually took it back to the station and they looked through it and wow, did they find everything that they needed, obviously except for the murder because they didn't record that.
Treasure trove of evidence.
It was
fucking idiots.
Massive treasure trove of evidence. And going back to the tape, there was a lot more disturbing evidence that would just blow your mind, Lolly.
It's already blown.
How on earth did you think that this actually came about? How do you go, shall we kill someone together, Lolly? Should it be our friend? You know?
I don't know. Let me know, loves.
They were skipping school one day or fourth period and they were in the bathroom playing out the Scream movie, as you do. And apparently Tori actually asked Brian, like, hey, have you ever thought about killing someone? Brian's actually like, yeah, funny you say that. Yes, I have. So then they went on to create a death wish list.
Oh, God.
They're in school, Lolly, in class with their camcorder, filming themselves writing out their death list in front of teachers. And I've actually watched the footage. Then like, oh my God, they're stopping because the teacher's coming. They're like, they're looking. They're like, oh my God, the teacher's standing right in front of us. Oh my God, thinking they're going to get caught. And for starters, like, hello, teachers. What the fuck?
Can I just say, only in America.
Pretty bad.
You know?
Pretty bad.
It's so bad. This is so wrong.
So wrong. Not only did they have a death list, they also had tried to kill 10 times prior. But
10 times?
Every time, apparently, because they filmed it all, every time they went to someone's house, their parents were home or they weren't home or they were disturbed, The day before they killed Cassie, it was on camera. They actually were driving to her house to kill her that day, the day before. And then it didn't work out because I think her parents were home.
Oh my God.
The day of the murder, there's footage of Brian actually in there filming Cassie by her locker and almost just wanting to get her on film because he knows what's going to happen to her that night.
This is horrible.
It is horrific. I'm sorry. Yeah, so they've got everything that they need. They have then obviously arrested the boys. This has taken place 5 days later on the 27th of September. They're both still denying it. Unfortunately for Brian, on the recordings, it's Brian that's saying, I just killed Cassie. I killed Cassie.
Ooh.
Tori says nothing except for, shut the fuck up, we've got to get our act straight.
Wow.
On the knife, Brian's DNA. Under Cassie's nails is Brian's DNA. So Tori is just going along with this. His defense has used this as obviously it was all Brian, had nothing to do with Tori. Even though Tori is literally sitting on camera writing out a death wish list. And they're like, it's going to be Cassie. Cassie's number one. She's going to be the ultimate sacrifice. It's like, dude, how can you say you had nothing to do with it?
Wow.
Wow. They have then gone to trial, separate trials. They've both been found guilty and tried as adults.
Good.
And they received life in prison without parole and an extra 30 years on top for conspiracy to commit murder.
Can you believe these fucking idiots, 16 years old?
16
years old. Like, what were we doing at 16? Obviously, we weren't sick and twisted like this, but you change so much, right, from when you're 16 through to just over the years. I wonder how they feel right now.
Well, interesting you say that because there is an interview with Brian Draper, and he does go into a lot of detail. But, yeah, look, they're serving their life sentence in the same prison.
Really?
They aren't friends. They don't talk to each other. If they walk past, they might acknowledge each other, but they aren't. They really have nothing to do with each other. Tori's parents have been massive advocates of Tori, saying he is innocent.
Oh, come off it.
The mother has gone on to write a book called The Guilty Innocent.
Oh, shut up, woman.
There are actually videos of Tori having an interview with his parents. He's now at 21 years old, and she's sitting there saying he's just the kindest, caring boy. And every time Tori goes to talk, it's like he looks at his parents for like making sure that he can say that. They are just absolutely blindsided by the fact that he could have done that, and they are in complete denial. Complete denial.
Wow.
But as for Brian, he has had his latest interview. He was 33 years old. He's come to terms with the fact that he probably never will get out of prison. And he's basically very sorry for what he's done, and he realizes, obviously age and as time goes on, and he thinks he would have done anything to take it back.
It's just all such a waste. But then again, 16 years old, they just have no idea what they're doing.
No.
You should know better than to do that, but what the fuck for?
I know, and also to idolise the Columbine shooters, to then go and copy all of them in your dress sense, the way you talked, the music you listened to, and just absolutely everything. It's pretty scary because if it wasn't Cassie, it would have been someone else.
Yeah, and it's just these kids they're just lost trying to find their way in the world, and these two guys just came together, and it was just a terrible combination of
absolutely
dark, twisted thoughts and ugh.
The massive effect it had on Cassie's family was huge. The uncle and auntie claimed it was their dream home. They lived there for 1 year. They no longer could go into the living room, tried to sell it for a long time. No one wanted to buy it, but eventually it did sell. The 13-year-old cousin went into a deep depression. She tried to commit suicide. Luckily, that didn't happen. And the auntie, I think she lost her job. It just, the whole family, it just spiraled. It was terrible. Terrible.
Do you know, coming back to trying to sell a house where there's been a murder or something horrendous has happened, I actually came across this article and it was talking about people that sell these homes that have had something horrific, especially like a high-profile murder. So obviously they can take a long time to sell, but then there are some people that just don't care, or there's some like sick and twisted people that want to buy it. But Chris Watts, awful. So he sold that house, or whoever sold it, and the neighbours said that they would have, sometimes during busy periods, they'd have 3 to 4 cars, out-of-state licensed cars driving past every hour, people just stopping outside. So quite often when people buy these homes, it becomes this kind of famous landmark that people visit. They just drive by all the time. Ugh, how scary. It's just like creepy. Creepy living in a house like that, and then you got people just driving by because they know something like that happened there.
For sure.
Don't do it.
Not right. Basically, these boys are rotting in jail. However, in 2012, there was a bit of an overturn in the law with any minors that were sentenced as adults with non-parole periods, that basically they shouldn't have to serve that sentence, and their cases were looked at. However, what hasn't been overturned, but you never know. I just feel like because this was so premeditated, they would reference serial killers and how amazing they were going to be, and almost like going down that same path. I feel like they should never ever be allowed out. Even if you've done all the goddamn redemption in the world, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it would be fair. A lot, you can't get out after doing something like that.
Shit, no. Yep. Absolutely not. Incredibly tragic case. I am very sorry, Lolly.
What the hell,
It is literally, so they're actually nicknamed the Scream Killers.
Oh, I'd never heard it. Yeah, it's horrible. The worst.
It is the worst. So, I mean, do I even have to ask you?
Well, look, you're going to have to, because
can you handle this crime and scandal?
No, I can't handle. And I just want to say real quick, is there something wrong with me? This is a true crime podcast. I can't handle these kinds of stories. Do you know, when I started listening to crime podcasts, I used to listen to the scandal ones, and then anytime an ad would come on for the murder ones, I'd turn it down because I don't want to hear it. I was like so opposed to it, but then I ran out of episodes. I was like, I'll just go and listen to, it was Crime Junkie or something like that, and then I got totally hooked. But there's certain cases that I just can't listen to because, I mean, they're all bad, but it's just, this is so horrific. So I don't know. I can't handle it, obviously. No. There's certain type of cases that I can handle, but this one, I don't even know. I'm so confused. I can't handle it. This is horrible. I don't want to hear these little fuckwits talking about their stupid plan, these stupid garbage men. I hate them.
Well, these garbage men are rotting in jail, so
good. And I hope it's been challenging for them.
Hopefully, but probably not. Brian's got a job in there and he's studying, and he's probably got all these disgusting woman pen pals, and who knows? He gets to live they both get to live their life. Cassie doesn't.
They're in it together. Yeah, it's horrible. Mm-hmm. Can you handle that crime and scandal?
No, absolutely not. And I do apologise. I was researching this one and I thought Lolly is really going to hate me for this. But, these stories have to be told, and I definitely cannot handle it.
I'm going to give you a challenge, Rainey. Mm-hmm. I want you to be less ruthless next time. Let's see if you can be a little less ruthless. Can you? Still ruthless. It's going to be ruthless regardless, but just a little less ruthless. You know?
But they're all ruthless, so.
Yeah, but this one was pretty bad. Okay. Come over onto the Can't Handle podcast Instagram and just tell me, am I being a pussy, guys? What the fuck? I don't know.
Yeah, well, actually, and you know what? A little shout out to Rachel for giving me this case. So there are other baddies out there. Thank you, Rachel.
Oh, ruthless Rachel, eh? It was you, ruthless Rachel. Thanks, you sick bitch.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Hey, it's all good. Look, this is, can't handle the crime and scandal, guys. We're going to be talking about all the fucked up things. So, Rainey, thank you for sharing that horrendous story. I reckon it's the audio. I think the audio sends me over the edge. Like, I don't know if I need to hear the audio. That's what it is, I think.
Because it makes it so much more real.
That's what it is. Yeah. Like the Gable tossed you one.
Yeah, that was
still haunts me. This was just so messed up. It's just getting into the sick, twisted minds of these guys. It was very disturbing.
Yeah, exactly. And friends, also friends.
It's so wrong. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, look, that is another episode down in the bag. Thanks for listening. As always, we love you guys. If you want to come hang out with us over on the socials, please do. We're on YouTube now. We want to hear your story recommendations, but not from you, Ruthless Rachel. All right? Yeah, it's your one done, bitch. I love you. That's our friend. I'm allowed to call her a bitch. All right. Okay, enjoy your week, guys. We look forward to seeing you next week here on the pod. Love you, Rainey.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.